And replies, potentially Corki Needly, Corki someone else, we'll have to see.
Ooh, Nidalee would actually be very interesting. I love watching Nidalee. I think she's one of the most fun champions to watch, especially if she's played AP in a poke comp.
Yeah, those
really
javelin
like
tosses hit
actually,
so hard.
They've got a pretty good comp for that. Oh, they pick up Leona. Leona has a good counter initiate, so they could still be going for the poke comp. They have 3 champions already that can poke really well, and they have a counter initiate. They've actually got another one with the Wall of Pain, so they might well be going for a poke comp, and I would be very happy to see that because I love poke comps.
The thing about the poke comp, it can work very well, but you need the sustain in order for it to work. You need somebody on your team that can either top a mana or give you back some health, something along those lines. And they haven't picked a support that can do that. If they had Soraka or if they had Alistar, maybe that would have been beneficial. But they've got a very aggressive bot lane. Corki Leona coming up against Kog'Maw Soraka, and I like that because Soraka and Kog'Maw have got no natural escapes. They are just going to get nommed if they get caught by the Zenith Blade or the Shield of Daybreak. Corki's going to be able to shred the armor that's going to be put down from that Astral Blessing. And I like the selection.
And actually, yeah, I was just going to mention this. Kog'Maw might be going AP, and it looks like he will. And again, is picking up Graves at the moment, and that he is going to look it in. Soraka Graves is a very strong lane, and I'm actually very excited for this because AP Kog'Maw means poke, so that's more poke in the game, and poke is awesome.
Yeah, very, very true. I don't like poke comps. I hate those standoffs at the tower and the Mexican standoff duels. Who's going to make a mistake first?
But if they hit the skill shots, it looks so cool.
And you know what? The one thing I'm a bit... This composition feels uncomfortable for me because I've watched a lot of NaVi and I've watched their players being shoutcasting a whole bunch of their games, especially recently as well. Citizen Wayne, so good on Karthus. You've got Nezreal, so good on Yorick when he does tend to play that top lane position. And that's interesting as well because Citizen's usually the mid player. So we may see Nazrilis going mid with Kog'Maw and Citizen going top with Kennen, which is a little bit unusual. Sandmansion, very, very good with his Leona as well. And, the NaVi champions are being played against them. So it's an interesting one.
Oh wow, they've actually got 2 cleanses. Okay, I'm going to say something interesting here. I'm pretty sure it's not going to happen, but they could be throwing in... Naturalist at the bottom and throw Antigen up. They could do that. It looks like they won't though. There is actually the cleanses on Kog'Maw now on Citizen Wayne, and yeah, that's pretty logical because Kog'Maw, as you said before, when we still thought he was going bot lane, he cannot escape very well. So the cleanse does help him a lot. In theory, he shouldn't be CC though because he should be all the way at the back using his living artillery from a huge range.
And I think that's the reason for it. If you look at the crowd control, it's actually not that impressive. We do have a disconnect at the moment. The crowd control that's coming out from Acer, you've got the slows from the cleavers, you've got the slow from Wall of Pain, you've got the Omen of Pestilence coming out from Yorick, which is his W, that's slow as well.
Stinky.
There we go, Stinky coming down. Then you've got a lot of the CC coming out from Leona. Now, in the grand scheme of things, that's not a very solid, reliable crowd control. A lot of it's skill shot based. Majority of it is slows. But the thing that you need to remember about cleanse is it increases your tenacity, which decreases the amount of times or the amount of time you are slowed. So that's what I think is very, very important. Graves and Kog'Maw are going to be able to kite, shrug off a lot of the duration of that slow, or at least reduce its effectiveness, and try to play that kite game once again. At least that's what I think. Whether or not it's going to play out that way, that remains to be seen.
Yes, so I don't know why exactly there was a disconnect, but they are all back into the game and we should be jumping in soon. I'm going to throw in that we're ready.
Yep, it was a swap bug, so unfortunately whoever had the particular champion that needed to be swapped, they couldn't actually bounce it around like they wanted to. So We are just waiting for the game to start once again. Acer are ready. NaVi should be hitting the start button very, very shortly. And chat coming up, Soraka was sitting with a smite and flash, so I don't think the power of Star Call Jungle Soraka is that great, but I haven't tried it. So we're going to see some troll bans at the moment. Once again, these are not the actual bans, guys, so please don't think that they are. Don't worry about them. Annie, Victor, and we're probably going to see the champions just locking in their respective champions.
So, yeah, they're all looking in their champions, and I had something to talk about. Oh yeah, so in mid, I'm actually very interested in how that lane is going to go, because both Karthus and the Kog'Maw are very farmy champions. They both are hyper carries. Kog'Maw both is AD as AP is very hyper carry-ish. He does a lot of damage late game, and they both kind of want to farm, and they're both pretty long range, so it might get a very passive lane going. On the other hand, if they do get kills, they will become beasts. So with a Mundo gank, they might actually be able to go full in on that and get some kills. So it'll be an interesting lane. I think it's going to be a bit of a farm fest, but it might get very.
The thing that's a bit scary, that's going to be that Overpower's going to have to worry about. I think we're going to call him Overpower, but anyways, the thing that's a bit nerve-wracking about that particular champion, once Citizen Wayne gets a couple more levels up, that Bioarcane Barrage is going to be able to outrange the Lay Wastes. And considering that Citizen Wayne has his Living Artillery and the Bioarcane Barrage, he's just going to be able to sit back, never really be in threat of the Wall of Pain, and just be able to continually put that DPS down via auto attacks. It's not going to cost him as much mana as the continual Lay Waste is going to be doing, and if he gets some blue buffs, the Living Artillery outranges and out DPSs Lay Waste. So Citizen has to be very careful in the early game, but once he gets some levels and gets some items going, he should be able to win his lane out. The top lane is very interesting for me. Yorick is going to stomp over Kennen. I've played a lot of Kennen, and I know how this lane goes. If Crafty is able to put some pressure down, and if Crafty is able to run around and pick up a few kills or some assists in that top lane, yes, I can see Kennen snowballing, but that Omen of Famine is so powerful. If Nezrelis goes low on hit points, it's going to be enough for 760 to be able to pick up some kills. So we are busy looking at the lanes. So I can hear you typing in the background, Caesar, so I thought I'll dive in there. Bottom lane, defensive Antigen Sand Mansion, going to be Graves Soraka. As is usual, as is customary with Graves, unless they get some good harass down, they're not really going to dive for a buckshot collateral damage. And of course, if Antigen is able to pick up a BF sword or similar, then the gameplay style is going to change quite significantly.
So at the moment, I'm trying to get moderator, but it's not really working out. But we'll be fine in a while, most likely. We don't really need moderator at the moment because people are doing very well in the chat. Thank you guys for not being flaming or annoying.
So we are into the last 1 minute 30, guys. So we do have to throw up one advert break. Thank you for helping us break 1,500 as well. I'm going to put the Reddit link up in chat. So head over, throw some upvotes there. And when we're back, NaVi versus Acer in round number 2 of today's RaidCall Play Cup. So I need to put this link. For everybody that is listening or knows, well, I suppose you can hear, there is a space after the colon, semicolon, and the forward slashes. So jump onto that. And let's have a look at some runes. Not everybody has ad blocker. I'm going to check out Kennen's rune page and see what he's running. 28 AP.
That's a good one.
Wow, very, very aggressive. Plus 13 armor, then 15 ability power at level 1, 28 ability power at level 18.
Oh, wow.
Magic pen reds.
Dude, the Karthus overpower is using flat AP quints, but he's getting 8.5 magic pen. Still not very interesting. 45 ability power at level 18. That's full on seals and glyphs. That's...
Yeah, super aggressive coming out from Overpower. Really wants to get the pain down with Karthus. And it makes sense because Karthus really needs to get that ability power up at the lower levels for his Requiem to be very strong. I want to see what 760 is running on his Yorick because I love playing Yorick. 12 MR, 15 AD, and 13 armor. So flats across the board. Not too surprising. And of course, all of those ghouls, they scale off of his attack damage and his hit points as well. So it sort of makes sense.
So the game is starting up, and we'll be there for the skin wars in just a few seconds.
So yeah, let's see. Don't click anything. Oh, Mafia Graves. Sorry, Mafia Graves wins this one. I don't care.
There's 2 skins there.
Doesn't matter. Mafia Graves wins. He doesn't need backup from anybody else.
It makes offers we can't refuse.
Yep. So for everybody that has joined us and that is back from the advert break, we are into round number 2 of the Play Cup. We are watching Nata's event here, NaVi taking on Acer. And game number 1, we watched My Brownies LoL defeating SK Gaming. So a little bit of an upset already, SK going out in the first round of the playoffs.
Well, actually, you just mentioned that he insta-wins. I think that if there was a Nautilus on the side of Acer, they would have won because they've got 2 submarines. Because, honestly, I think Yorick kind of looks like a submarine person. Just like Nautilus. Not a submarine, but, you know, a diving suit. An iron diving suit. Which is still kind of strange, actually, if you think about it.
I love the run. I love the run animation on Yorick. He always... whenever I see it, I literally see him going a herp-a-derp-a-derp-a-derp when he's moving. It just looks so silly.
If you speed it up, it actually you can put a Benny Hill under it. It's amazing.
Well, there we go. So we're having a look.
I think the only champion with a better moving animation for going extremely fast is Swain. Because that looks so funny if he goes really fast.
I don't think I've actually seen it. I'd have to take a look at
with
some
mobility, 5 Phantom Dancers. It's so awesome.
So the lanes at the moment, everybody's set up very defensively. You can call this effectively a mirror. You know, you've got every entrance to the jungle being covered. You've got all the champions not wanting to invade themselves, but not wanting to be invaded upon. So a fairly slow start. We're not going to see any level 1 aggression. Citizen Wayne playing NaVi in the middle and Nezrelis in the top. Okay, right. So that confusion that I had of Citizen on Kennen and Nezrelis on Cogmore, it was the bug that caused it. So they are actually playing their proper lanes, not like I'd said right at the beginning of the game.
So people were discussing how SK's top substitute was the problem in the last game. I don't really think so. He won his lane. So I have to disagree with chat there. There's going to be a slight invade here. Dozer Pro and Erotic. Making sure that the golems don't get taken by Sandmankin and Antigen.
Yep. So at the moment, Antigen is taking a little bit of harass, but that Astral Blessing from Sandmankin is going to be more than enough to top him up. It is going to take Soraka a couple of levels to develop really good sustain, but it's going to be more than enough to get through the harassment that's going to come down from Dota Pro and Erotic. But I think the middle lane and the top lanes are the ones to watch for me. I think that's where the kill potential comes from.
Well, to be honest, Gorky Leona, that's a very aggressive lane. And with the mana that Sandman can give to Antigen all the time, they might be able to go very aggressive as well. Yeah. But at the moment, Dota Pro is at half health, so he will not be able to go too aggressive. Gets a buckshot in the face there, almost goes down. I honestly think that bot lane will be more interesting than mid lane, because mid lane they are both farmers and they are both long range. They will probably just be poking each other all the time. And the kill will probably come very suddenly, and we probably won't see it coming.
Well, look at
because they'll be at half health.
Look at the zoning already from Antigen and Sandmankin. You know, they have the sustain, they can take the poke from those phosphorus bombs and the auto attacks. And we do have a potential gank in this top lane though, so I'm going to keep my eyes there. Crafty's going to be moving forward. Dustbringer is going to get cast, it does land. Unspeakable Horror not in range, Ignite goes down. And Crafty just a little bit too slow with that Unspeakable Horror, so unfortunately not able to land the Fear proc.
So right now, Xaxis actually moved down bottom for a gank. He did have double buff, so that could have been successful, but looks like the lane was not pushing the right way, and he is going to be farming his jungle a bit more. Crafty is still top looking for a gank, and he's going to miss his Dustbringer. The Fear's not going to proc. There comes a Thundering Shuriken down. That is going to hit, but It's not too much damage, and 760. That's an interesting name. 761 does have Hungry, which he just threw out, so he will be healing up from range, which I still think is a ridiculous mechanic.
Yeah, it's so powerful.
Mid.
The burst heal is very high. Taking a look, we do jump over. Flash gets burned from overpower. Yeah, just to land a wall of pain, trying to put some damage back, but got to be careful of that Bio-Game barrage.
So
Well
I'm
spotted.
actually wondering, how is he leveling? He is leveling his Void Ooze first.
It's his highest burst damage.
Yeah, true.
Void Ooze hits harder.
And he is going to go for Bio-Arcane Barrage
Second.
maxing that.
Yep.
I was wondering what he was going to do there, because the Caustic Spittle does give magic penetration, or at least magic resist reduction. So it's kind of interesting, but obviously you shouldn't be in range to throw out that Caustic Spittle, and that's probably why he didn't level up.
Well, the reasoning behind it as well, Karthus has got very good range with that Wall of Pain and with those Lay Wastes. So now you can see with just 2 points into Bio-Arcane Barrage, Citizen Wayne is already at the same range as Overpower is with his Lay Waste. So 1 more point into Bio-Arcane, that's going to give him, he's going to be able to outrange Karthus. And that's really going to be the big differentiating factor, because he's going to be able to pop that on, auto attack, and Karthus is forced to run backwards. Once he hits level 6 and gets a blue buff, while Karthus is running away, he can chase it up with Living Artilleries.
Yeah, the Caustic Spittle, I mean, it gives, let's see, it gives 5 magic resist reduction, which is not too much. And considering you shouldn't be in range for that anyway, if you're playing your Kog'Maw well, it's pretty logical that he's not leveling it. And wow, that Void was almost killed, well, not almost killed him, but brought him to very low health. And the Dustbringer over the wall is not going to quite hit him.
We do see pressure on the bottom lane though. Sandmansion has burned his flash a little bit earlier, and he's going to go down. First blood was picked up by Kog'Maw in the middle, in fact. And
that's exactly what I meant. We're not going to see it coming, because they're both long range and they poke each other down to very low health and suddenly they die.
So I am going to rewind, watch this immediately. He lands the Void Ooze, even under the exhaust, is able to pick up the kill. And such an easy kill for Citizen Wayne.
So, yeah, as I said, I mean, actually he picked that up with a auto attack, which is kind of interesting, because he did have his ultimate. He was probably because for the people that are not aware, the ultimate of Kog'Maw develops stacks as you use it. So every time you cast it, it costs 40 additional mana, and that stacks up to 200. So 200 mana, that's quite a bit. And he does have that Hero of the Goddess. That's the exact reason why people build Hero of the Goddess on Kog'Maw. It's kind of required, because you need a large mana pool to keep it up. Even if you have like 200 mana regen per second, you will still not be able to use your ultimate enough if you're gonna bash it all the time, because the cooldown is about half a second on max level.
I am super excited to see what Kog'Maw decides to actually build this game, because I believe that the Athene's Unholy Grail is a very good item choice on Kog'Maw's. It gives that mana regen 1% mana regen bonus per 1% mana missing. And I think when he starts to stack up that Tear of the Goddess and the Archangel Staff, combine the mana regen with that and the mana regen with your Athene's Unholy Grail, and the fact that it gives magic resist, it gives cooldown reduction, I really think it's a strong item on Kog'Maw.
And it also gives mana on kills and assists.
12% per kill and per assist. You know, that's a burst mana back. So I really think it's going to be a good item. Whether or not Citizen Wayne feels the same, we're going to have to watch and see.
The thing is, Kog'Maw kind of needs a Rhyhorn's Crystal Scepter, because well, he doesn't need it, but the Rhyhorn's Crystal Scepter makes him be so much better. Actually, there's going to be a gank on top. 760 is going to be feared, and he is going to be walking back into that ultimate of Naturalist, and they are going to be picking up that kill. Naturalist getting the kill. He's going to be at 1-0-0 right now.
Oh, and a great Zenith Blade coming out from Erotic in the bottom lane. Antigen was running through the grass, and Erotic just predicted it, placing it all the way forward, and really nicely done. Ooh, the Solar Flare comes out in conjunction with the Requiem. That's going to be enough to pick up the kill. And a very nice play from Acer once again. Really good combination of their abilities.
So, the discussion is just very interesting, by the way. It's about MLG and stuff like that. Come on, guys, focus on the game. But, right now there is a Heart of Gold on Crafty, and what I was saying about Kog'Maw. The Rylai's Crystal Scepter makes him so much better because not only will his ultimate give vision, oh wow, Crafty is going to be getting some damage and has to flash away. Is exhausted, will not be able to go away quickly enough, but Antigen saves him with a great smoke bomb. And ooh, he gets away with 50 HP. That Ignite almost killed him.
I didn't actually hear. So, Sand doesn't have Summoner the Wish just yet. I thought it may have actually landed. We do see Citizen Wayne coming in though. Erotic's pulling one backwards. Antigen's going to be flashing after Dota Pro. Flash comes out from Antigen, and that is going to be able to pick up a kill into Erotic. One more attack. Should be able to pick it up. Finally, come on. Let's go. There we go. Finally going down. Now Zaxxas turns around onto Citizen Wayne. Very nice jukes coming out from Erotic's Leona. Is the true damage going to be enough to pick up the kill? I don't think it will.
Oh wow, that actually got really close.
Very, very low. But nicely done from Antigen. He managed to chase down Dota Pro, so he picked up that kill in the bottom lane. And some very good duking from Erotic kept him alive, so dodged all those abilities coming up from Kog'Maw.
Yeah, with the Rylai's Crystal Scepter, he would have been able to slow as well as give vision with his ultimate, which was my point. And then he would have picked up the kill way earlier, but he didn't quite have the Rylai's Crystal Scepter yet. Would have been ridiculous if he had it at this point, actually, but that's why I think that Athene's Holy Grail will take really long to build, because he needs to get the Rylai's Crystal Scepter. After that, he might go for the Athene's Holy Grail, but I wouldn't be surprised if he just doesn't go for it after his Archangels and his Rabadon, so it might just be his last item. I wouldn't be surprised if it was.
Well, we do see a Oracle's Elixir being worn by Zaxxas. So that Dr. Mundo is going to be running around trying to clear out the wards. I don't know if his counterpart Crafty's picked one up yet. No, not just yet. Now we see the bait coming out. Sand Mansion is going to fall to the Requiem. Wish was used, but it's not going to be enough. They've turned their attention now back to Erotic, and I think that was a bit of a... That was a bait gone wrong. You've seen Crafty sitting in that bottom grass, setting up. He was in range for Paranoia. He was waiting for a fight to commence. But I think he just underestimated the amount of damage that can come out from Corki, from Leona, and from that Requiem of Karthus.
So right now Dragon is being attempted by Acer, and they will probably be able to pick this up. It doesn't look like NaVi actually knows this is going on, and they are going to be picking it up fairly easily. Pretty much a free Dragon there, and that will put them at a 3k gold advantage, and that's a pretty big advantage at this point in the game.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. It's concentrated gold is worth more than globally shared gold. So let's see how that looks. 4,200 on Karthus to 3,900 Kog'Maw. Top lane we have 2,600 Kennen to a 3,200 Yorick. That's a pretty big difference, 800 gold. Bottom lane we see Graves 3,300 to Corki 3,400. So it's only really Yorick in the top lane that's I don't want to use the word significantly far ahead, but halfway to a tier 1 item ahead. And as expected, he's out farming the top lane. A lot of aggression coming as well, and Nezrelis just can't handle the damage and the pressure from 760.
Oh wow, Road of Ages already coming out from Overpower. I'm just assuming that's how you pronounce the name. So that's a pretty early Road of Ages, and you want the Road of Ages early so that you can let it stack up quickly. It does give extra health, mana, and ability power every minute, and it will be stacking already at 22 minutes. That will be fully stacked, and that'll be very good for him. I'm actually not sure. It was a 1 minute or 2 minutes. It is every minute.
Yeah, every minute. So very nicely done. 13 minutes Rod of Ages, compliments of the 110 CS, and of course having 3 kills. So that bonus 600 gold is going to be very, very valuable. They've also got a dragon thrown in there. So even though Acer, were a little bit behind, that last team fight as well as the Drake, it's actually put them ahead. No towers down though, so it's too early to really say somebody's ahead of their opponents. So we're just going to have to keep a very close eye on this fight, and now that the teams are going to start transitioning into this team fight phase, that's where things are going to start to snowball. Things are going to start to determine who's going to win, and I think NaVi have to be very aggressive in their team fights. You've got Dr. Mundo is going to be very hard to kill. Yorick's going to be very hard to kill. And Leona, oh, we do have a Paranoia dive onto Overpower, though. Dustbringer does land. The fear pulls him right back to Citizen Wayne. He's running over the Voidoos and wasn't actually casted, so we are going to get a dead Karthus, but is a Requiem going to be used? I don't think it needs to. He did manage to pick up at least a kill. And the front line of Leona, Dr. Mundo, and Yorick is going to give a lot of protection for Dota Pro's Corki and Overpower's Karthus.
True, but honestly, they have a Cookmaster, so they can just like poke and be like, oh, you've got front lines, we don't really care, I'll shoot over that because I'm living artillery. And there is going to be a dive at the bottom. It looks like Erotic is going to be going for Sunmankin, and they will be going for this. There comes the Sun. Silence was not in time, and Sun is going to be going down. Erotic has to flash out of the tower not to die, but he will be just fine. A flash forward goes down.
And we do have pressure on the top lane. Nezreal is trying to fight 760. Requiem's going to come out, and wow, with the Ignite, Omen of Famine, and then Requiem going down, they pick up a kill there onto Nezreal. And NaVi starting to get snowballed on. And there's going to be a tower dive coming out. The aggro is on Dota Pro, though not on Erotic, so that means it's going to be harder to pick up the kill. Dota Pro's tanking that tower all day long. But luckily, Crafty was within range, and he's going to be able to pick up that kill onto Erotic's Leona. And that sucks. Just put a ward in that tri-bush, and it instantaneously gets deleted.
Yeah, that's kind of saddening. Citizen Wayne actually getting pretty low on his tower. It's suspected to be the other way around, but I guess he cannot push Overpower just yet. He does have a blue buff though, so he will be able to spam those ultimates. The thing is, he doesn't have sustain at all, and I'm actually... Wait, yes. No, wait. I'm really bad at this. Okay, so the Rod of Ages on Overpower does give him a bit of sustain. Every time he levels up, he gets mana and health. So he has more sustain than Citizen Wayne does, and it kind of shows because they're both great pokers, but it looks like Overpower is doing way better health-wise because he does have that little bit of sustain.
And we're going to have to see how these bottom lane carries. Talking about items and looking at all the champions, look at the bottom lane so far. Graves, he's got the BF sword and the pickaxe completed. Corki, on the other hand, Sheen and the longsword. So he's obviously going for a Trinity Force first. And I think, you know, Trinity Force Corki is still very, very good, don't get me wrong. But coming up against the burst that Graves is going to be able to put down, if they get a good engagement, the burst in combination with the Voidoos, which is going to deal a lot of AoE burst as well, they could potentially blow somebody up very quickly. And then, of course, you've got Slicing Maelstrom in there, which once again is AoE, fairly decent damage. So I want to see how these team fights play out. And NaVi have to be in good positioning. If they are one step wrong, that tanky CC front line of Yorick, Leona, and Mundo is just going to melt them apart, and it'll be an easy team fight win for Acer.
Yes, indeed. And sorry, I was reading something in the admin chat. So right now, 761 is in the middle. Looks like they are forming up for a dragon, most likely. I think that should be spawning fairly soon, within the next minute or two. And if it does, I think that 760 was a tiny bit too early with going down. Oh, there it comes. Oh wow, the cleaver actually hits it as it spawns. Just showing that they've got the exact timer on there.
Yeah,
and they
such good awareness. Such good awareness.
So, yes. Sorry, I'm still reading that in chat. Right now, the bot tower is getting picked up by Antogin, I think. And he put some pressure on Dota Pro. Dota Pro was able to just walk away from that though. And right now, it is a bit of a stalemate at the moment. Because there have been no fights for Dragon, which is slightly boring. There is a Rylance on Season Way though, I hadn't realized that yet. And that's going to put them at a huge advantage in team fights. They will be able to disengage very well and engage very well as well. Plus, chasing will get really easy with that Rylance Crystal Scepter because of the extremely long range slow that it gives if he hits his living artilleries. At level 3, those actually go, I think, about 2 or 3 screens, which is... Or not 2 or 3 screens.
Oh, we
screens,
do see some pressure coming out. Requiem is going to be coming down, so Citizen Wayne's going to eat a lot of that damage. Crafty has blown his paranoia already, and with all the health regen from Sadism, Xaxis is forced backwards. Antigen's now being caught out from Acer. Ignite goes down, instantly flashed over the wall from 760. Now in the background, Karthus is going to be able to pick up the kill. Into the background, we do see Yorick going down as well as Citizen Wayne. And wow, that fight just went terribly wrong for NaVi.
So right now there is going to be a... Is this going to be a Baron or center, or are they going to just gank top?
Well, it looks like
I'm
they're
not
going to be
entirely
pushing.
sure.
It looks like they're going to take Baron. If I was Acer, I would definitely go for Baron. Kenan does have Slicing Maelstrom available, but I don't think he's going to commit 1 versus 5. And at the moment, it looks as though NaVi playing with, I think it's a sub. I don't think Crafty is their natural player. We do see Nezrelis going in. He immediately just gets locked down completely. And
Yeah, Exhaust was too strong right there.
it dropped the damage of that Slicing Maelstrom. He didn't blow his flash or use his Ignite either, and it was just completely locked down. So, 6,000 gold difference. Baron buff at 19 minutes. And if I were a betting man, I would probably have to put my money on Acer.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they both have a chance. They both still have a very good chance. But Acer is definitely in the lead right now, and they do have a Baron at 20 minutes, which is quite a big difference because early on, or later on, the Baron buff doesn't amount to much. It gives you mostly the regen, but right now the stats it gives make a huge difference because nobody has a lot of items yet, and Overpower is very fat. He's actually at a 623. He's got his Revenants and his Rod of Ages. He's going to be throwing down massive damage, and it's pretty much guaranteed damage because even if he dies, he's going to still be able to throw down damage. So that's going to be a huge huge influence on the game.
Well, the other thing to point out, we looked at it a little bit earlier. We've got Corki on the bottom lane. He's finished his Trinity Force already, and Graves' Antigen is only about, well, he has enough gold to finish his Infinity Edge, but it's still not finished. So, you know, the DPS that Corki's going to be putting down at this stage is already higher. Graves is really going to need to get that Phantom Dance up to be able to properly finish him out. Citizen Wayne does not have that blue buff, so he can't really afford to continually spam those living artilleries. Now we do see blue buff being pulled away. Is there going to be able to be a lucky steal coming out from NaVi? Doesn't even look like they're going to challenge it, actually. Blue buff going to Corki, and that is because the blue buff on Overpower is fairly low on, or fairly high in its cooldown, or its duration rather. So it's still going to be around for a little while. All of the ultimates.
Yeah, it's only 1 foot down, and they are going to be pushing mid right now. They are doing the right thing, pushing with their Baron buff. And
but look at the bottom lane. Antigen is forcing that lane. He's got the interior turret. They're going to look for a base race. And I don't know if Acer are going to stick to this one. If they wanted to, they could. But Antigen is moving up to the inhibitor turret already. Acer second guessing themselves. They're not committing for the tower. And
yeah, they have to wait for the minions because they cannot tank it. And 760 is going to be going back, but it looks like the inhibitor tower is actually going to go down. Great play there from Antigen. Great call. I'm going to assume that he made that call, but whoever made that call is a freaking genius. They are going to try to keep pushing, but Citizen Wayne does so much damage with the Photos and his living artillery that he's easily able to clear those waves as they come. And actually they're going to be pushing back against Acer right now.
So great play from NaVi. We are going to see an engagement in the middle. They've dived onto Citizen Wayne. He's going to go down very quickly, not able to put any DPS down. Nezrelis blows that Slicing Maelstrom in the background. That's going to do absolutely nothing. It hit nobody. Karthus' Defile and all of those layer wastes end up earning him a quadra kill. And that definitely deserves a rewind. Just to see, because what you're going to see is the engagement come out. It is going to be a double rewind. So watch this engagement. NaVi actually picked the fight. NaVi started it, and then it just went all bad. Oh, no, it wasn't actually. My bad. Acer committed first. A very nice solar flare is going to lock everybody up. Nezrelis flashes onto Dota Pro. 1 versus 1. Instead of coming back for the rest of his team. So Citizen goes down. The explosion from Akithian Surprise is going to chunk down the HP. Look at it there. That's the second kill for Overpower. Defile plus 1 more lay waste. That's 1, that's 2. Quadra kill from Overpower. So nicely done.
Well, you gotta tell me when you're at 23 minutes, because something interesting is gonna happen at that point.
Alright, well, I'm busy fast forwarding, so we are in +2 speed. I'm keeping a very close eye at the moment. We see Acer, they're pushing. We see Antigen up in the back lane. He's trying to take down the inhibitor, trading 1-for-1. So let's flick over to him. He is going to be able to pick it up. He should be able to just guess it in the background. Requiem plus a couple of attacks from Yorick is going to be able to pick up that kill though. And that should be us back up to real time very, very quickly.
Yeah, nothing happened after that, but I thought it was really cool that he went for the inhibitor. Great play there. Sneaking around because obviously 760 was in the bottom lane, but he just sneaked around and took an inhibitor. Really well done there. And that means so much, because if you're 1-to-1 in inhibitors, the map pressure is less big. I mean, obviously mid inhibitor is slightly better because you want the lane to be pushing in the middle, because that gives most vision and most map pressure. But still, it's gonna help a lot that there is a inhibitor down, because that makes every wave stronger, and especially the bot lane is gonna be a way stronger lane.
You've got to remember with that as well, taking the bottom lane is so vital for Na'Vi. Not only do they have the side that is preferable for Baron, they now have the bottom lane inhibitor down. So when Baron respawns at 26 minutes, there's going to be about a minute to a minute and a half left before the inhibitor respawns. And that means they can push for Baron Nashor, while Acer have to send somebody to deal with those super creeps.
So right now there is going to be an Archangels on Citizen Wayne. So he didn't go for his Fiend's Holy Grail just yet. I'm assuming he's going to go for Revenants next, but he might be going for a Fiend's Holy Grail. If he doesn't, we might ask him after the game.
We could even see some more survivability. I mean, the likes of an Abyssal Scepter wouldn't go amiss either. The magic resist is going to help. The magic reduction is going to help for Kennen. It's going to help for... well,
that's
maybe
not entirely true though, because he has to stay way out of range, and I'm not sure if the aura will go all the way to where his ultimate goes.
Well, he needs magic resist, so you know, it could be a Banshee's Veil possibly. Well, it depends how he wants to build him. If he wants to go for the DPS, we're just going to see more ability power. And look at the damage from those lay wastes.
Wow.
One solo.
Fiend's Holy Grail gives magic resist, right?
It does. I believe it's 32. So it's not the highest number, but it will be noticeable.
It will help.
And the damage coming out from Citizen Wayne is very good as well. I just managed to catch those two living artilleries landing onto Dota Pro. And Na'Vi have got very good lane control. They can just, you know, take out those lanes of creeps very, very quickly. And they're going to need to keep doing that in order to stay in this game, because if Acer jump onto them, they can't win a straight up team fight. Not 9,000 gold behind.
And I've just heard that the winner of this game will be facing XHL, and I'm not sure who's going to cast that, but it might well be us.
Just for everybody that wants to have a very quick update on stream number 1, Fnatic versus In Faculty is currently 10-11. There's 800 gold difference, and that's at the 27 minute mark. That game is slightly closer than this one at the very least. But Na'Vi are not out of it. Yes, they are behind, but they are not out. And that's the key. You know, they've got the map, they've got the bottom lane pushing with super creeps, and now that Baron Nashor has respawned, we actually see Acer are starting it. They do have a 5-man here, so keep very, very close eyes onto the hit points of this Baron Nashor.
The thing is, they have Garfus, and oh wow, they're actually gonna initiate. They missed the center blade.
So much damage.
Really low. Overpower is gonna go down, but there comes the zombie from Yorick. Really well on there. They're gonna be picking up Erotic. Antigen has to flash over. Citizen Wayne getting focused now, but it's not gonna quite do that. And wow, oh wow, that was a horrible Requiem actually. And they're gonna pick up another kill though. It is a 2-for-3 in exchange at the moment. But Citizen Wayne can use his very long range to poke them down very well and possibly take all these kills. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a triple kill. And oh wow, he's gonna get the kill on 760. Is he gonna be able to find Dota Pro in time? He does not throw the ultimate there, but he is gonna be going for Xaxis right now. And Xaxis is probably gonna go down, takes a tower hit. And there comes Antigen. Antigen is not going to be picking up that kill. Citizen Wayne actually picking up that kill. And in the meantime, the bot lane pushed all the way to Acer's Nexus Tower. Did a tiny bit of damage. That will regen now. So it's not too much.
So Cogmore's starting to hit that point where he's really, really scary. The range and the damage. I don't know if you noticed right at the beginning of that previous team fight, as they entered the blue buff grass area, Buckshot, collateral damage, and Void Ooze was all thrown out. And it decimated the HP of Team Acer. It really, really reduced all of the HP bars, and that was the damage that I was talking about, comboing that AoE burst. The reason that NaVi didn't win that fight very early on is the fact that Nezrelis was so far away. Nezrelis was not in the team fight, he joined late, and he was moving on the right-hand side, then he came back over the left-hand side, so had he been there with the Slicing Maelstrom when that very big AoE burst went down, it may have been a completely different story.
So they are going to be going for Baron right now, NaVi is, and they don't have as much DPS as Acer does. And wow, great damage coming down on San, and he is going to go down thanks to that last ultimate there. Antigen already going down as well. Crafty is going to run in, but is going to go down as well. So right now it's a 1-for-3 exchange. Citizen Wayne is still going to be able to probably delay this though, because he has such huge range, unless they can properly initiate on him.
But he's very, very low on mana.
Wall of Fame. And Nezrelis is going to be slowed quite a bit, and he is going to go down there, Overpowered taking up that kill.
And he threw the ultimate as well. Just before he went down, you heard the sound effect, and you can see it's off cooldown. So the Slicing Maelstrom was in fact used. Ooh, Erotic's going to be so careful. Yeah, he does land the Shield of Daybreak. He's going to take one more hit. Citizen Wayne picks up that kill very, very nicely. Flash plus Cleanse. Oh, sorry, it was just the... Yeah, it was. Flash plus Cleanse to get away from the stun.
That was really well done there. So inhibitor is going to go down right now. So it is one inhibitor to 0 right now. Super creeps are all gone for NaVi. So NaVi is getting a lot of pressure on them right now. They are 10k behind, of which are 11 kills, which is quite a difference, big difference in the kills. And right now, there is a Rabidance on Citizen Wayne. He did opt to go for the full 1 damage. Because, well, you know, it's good to have some magic resist, but honestly, he should never be in range to get focused anyway. So that's probably why he's going for the full 1 damage here.
Yeah, the problem is they don't have a meaty front line. So yes, in theory, you know, they should never be in range of him, but consider the way the team fights play out. Nezrelis and Crafty, they dive forward. Paranoia, Lightning Rush, and Slicing Maelstrom means they're in and amongst the middle of Team Acer. There's no one left behind to protect Kog'Maw. And that's the difficult problem. And then you consider that 760, Erotic, and Zaxxus all dive forward in and amongst NaVi. There's no ways to stop those 3 sort of, you know, meat shield DPS champions from diving all the way forward.
So right now they are going to be pushing down the middle, and I'm not sure what's going to happen next, to be honest. Dragon should be spawning a tiny bit, but that's not a huge objective anymore. I mean, that gives, 400 or 500 and then another 90 for everyone. So that's 950 gold. There we go. For the entire team. That's a little under 1k. It's not too much at this point in the game, to be honest. 190 gold is not going to be very noticeable on champions like Karthus, who is already at free tier 3 items.
And look at Nezrelis, still sitting on tier 1 boots.
Oh wow, yeah.
So hasn't finished that. He does also have the ingredients for a either an Abyssal Scepter, or it could be finishing off the Will of the Ancients and then just the magic resist to survive the burst that's coming out from Corki and Overpower. But very, very interesting champion so far. Now, the siege is coming out. Citizen Wayne is tossing out those living artilleries. We do see a Requiem coming down, so here comes the engagement. Requiem deals so much damage. Fear is going to go on Zaxxus, but NaVi cannot afford to focus Zaxxus. They need to pick up some kills on the other champions, on the carries. Overpower flashes forward, immediately goes down, so he's going to be trying to deal as much damage as he can with Death Defied. It's a 2-for-1 exchange so far. Make that a 3-for-1 triple kill for Kog'Maw. That range and the DPS for him so good. Quadra kill for Kog'Maw at the Maw. Is he going to be able to catch up for the Penta? That's what we're going to be watching. We'll do a replay on this one. Flash comes out from Kennen. Are they going to leave it? And that is going to be the delayed Penta.
Ah, that was a Penta kill.
So I'm going to be going rewind. Let's go once more. And we're going to be following Citizen Wayne the entire time here. Wait for the channel of Requiem.
Follow the ultimates, which are on the other side of the screen.
So there comes the Requiem. Now let's see how this plays out. NaVi forced backwards. Citizen so low on health. Gets exhausted as well. Wish has been blown by Sad Mansion. And the Astral Blessing. So let's see there. Dodging the solar flare. Kenan is going to be jumping, so we're going to stick with Citizen Wayne at the moment because he's going to be tossing out those living artilleries. Throws out the Voidoos. That's going to kill Karthus now. He's negating as much damage as he can. Let's watch, where does the living artillery land? That's going to be landing onto Dodo Pro, so that's another kill going down. The next one is going to be picking up the kill onto Yorick. Once again, you see it exploding there on the right-hand side of your kill. Then turns his attentions to Erotic. Death Defied is over. So, once again, such a good lay waste, followed up by another lay waste. That's the Quadra. And, of course, chasing down Zaxxas for the delayed penta, but we'll give it to him.
Oh, I actually mentioned in the organization chat that it was a Quadra +1, and someone of NaVi, I'm not sure who, it might be their manager or it's one of the players, said that that was a Panta. So NaVi thinks it's a Panta.
And yeah, it was the living artillery, sorry, not lay waste. Living artilleries that did all that damage on the slows. So we're in fast forward mode. We see Acer pushing down this bottom lane, knowing that they've got a little bit of time to do so. They pick up the tower very, very easily. Citizen Wayne's now putting Brash at 1, 2, 3 living artilleries. The fourth one would have killed Dota Pro, but look at the DPS he's putting down. All of a sudden, NaVi may be in a good position. Collateral damage goes. One more. That's... Oh, Overpower dodges it. How on earth did Overpower dupe that last living artillery? Smoke grenade goes out. Overpower's trying to run away. Leona's gone super, super low. Overpower's gone super, super low. Wow, wow, wow.
This just got in. It looks like TCM actually won against My Brownies. So My Brownies, even though they upset SK, have gone out against TCM.
Unlucky for My Brownies.
Fnatic is apparently winning.
16-12 at the moment. They are 1,000 gold ahead, or might be 7,000. I can't tell by the numbers. But they are pushing down the lanes pretty heavily. And they are beating us in viewers, guys. We are being beaten in viewers by stream number 1. I think we need to bring some friends and families and aunts and dogs. Bump the Reddit thread. Get your friends and family to come and, you know, stream the game, guys. I love to beat them in numbers. 17-24 is the kills. 9,000 gold difference. NaVi have frozen the gold difference. They've been behind about 10k gold for at the very least, you know, about 10 to 15, 10 to 12 minutes. But the longer the game goes on, the smaller that gap actually is. Karthus in the middle, 15,000 gold to 15,000 on Kog'Maw. Graves, 11,800 to 13,300 on Corki. Top lane of 8,800 to 11,300. That's really, really high at the moment.
Well, there's one thing that that we need to note though, is that Citizen Wayne has pretty much every kill in his team. So if he does go down, NaVi have pretty much lost the team fight, because no one else is able to put out as much damage. So if Acer is able to blow up Citizen before or in a quick enough manner so that they don't give the rest of his team time to kill them, they will probably win the fight, and they might actually win the game.
Well, look at the items so far. Nezreal still has not finished his boots. 40 minutes in. Dude, it's about time you finished your boots. But he does have that Abyssal Scepter. He's also picked up the Chain Vest, so that'll eventually become a Zhonya's Hourglass. But look at Citizen Wayne, Void Staff, Death Cap, Rylai's Crystal Scepter, Archangel Staff, and a Blasting Wand. So we can expect that Blasting Wand is either going to be upgraded into another AP item, and I would love it if it would be Athene's Unholy Grail. It is one of the ingredients, but I don't think it's going to be. I think I'm getting my hopes up just a little bit.
Well, Blasting Wand, I'm thinking what else he could go out of this. Honestly, I don't really know what would be much better than Athene's Holy Grail. I mean, he's got the penetration, he's got the slow, he's got the 2 big AP items. I don't see what else is like better than Athene's Holy Grail at the moment. Maybe people are. People in chat can give us advice.
Oh, look at the setup at the minute. 760's coming in from behind. There goes Stinky. There goes Smelly. The push is coming forward. Buckshot goes out as well as Paranoia. So Corky's going to be... Crafty's going to be thinking about the dive. But the damage coming out from that living artillery. Finally a good engagement from NaVi. using the range and the DPS to their advantage, kiting all day long. Citizen Wayne's looking for another kill. Kraft is in and amongst that damage. He's taking defile damage for a very, very long time. One more living artillery may be enough to pick up the kill. The Valkyrie does get him away though. Followed up, there's the final landing. With Karthus going down, the Requiem's going to hit, but not going to be enough to pick up the kill. If Citizen can get a good prediction on this living, it may be enough. But 1 for 4, and NaVi for the first time in the game, really in control of the team fight.
Yeah, it's just that, honestly, I've hereby decided that AP Pokemon needs a nerf, because it's just ridiculous how well he's doing. It's just that he's from such a long range, and he can just poke down people from pretty much the other side of the map, and that position was actually perfect for NaVi, because there was a wall in between Citizen Wayne and the entire enemy team. So he was able to just get free damage off, and they couldn't actually get to him without all flashing over the wall. They all actually have flash up, except for Xexus, but he doesn't actually have a flash, so that's kind of logical, he didn't flash over the wall. But the problem was that Overpower was already at like 1/3 HP before the teamfight even started. And normally Karthus don't really care about that because he's just going to the enemy team. But because of all the kite, he was never able to get close enough to use his I think the foul on the enemy team. So that was just really well done there. And he has a Zonias, but it's not going to be very. I don't think it was the best pickup, because he's never going to be in range of the enemy team that he can just turn that on and
the thing about the Zonias as well, once he activates it, it allows Citizen Wayne all the time in the world to line up the perfect living artillery and pick up some extra damage. Finally, Nezrelis picks up his Sorcerer's Shoes. Thank you very much, dude. 40 minutes in, completing your tier 2 boots. What I like about this game so far is it started off with Acer in the driving seat. They picked up an early Baron. They were so far ahead with gold. They were so far ahead with DPS. And of course the team fights going their ways time and time again. But that one play by Antigen, that one inhibitor, bought them the time that they needed to farm themselves back into this game. They then followed up with a couple of good team fights, and the longer the game goes, the harder Citizen Wayne is going to hit. And of course, they're finally picking engagements that are good for their team, you know. Playing that poke, putting the DPS down, kiting as long as they can. Now we see a flash coming out from Overpower, and that was way too aggressive. He's going to be the one of the first ones to go down. It is actually Antigen that goes down first. And Requiem's going to come up. That's going to be able to pick up the kill onto Nezrelis. Xexus is putting so much pressure. Citizen Wayne does have that blue buff up, and if they can keep him alive, they might stand a chance, but he gets completely locked down by the solar flare. That Echidnian Surprise might be able to pick up a kill, though. One goes down, and an ace for 2 kills, or for 1 kill. Just as I sing their praises.
The solar flare won them the game. I'm gonna call it right there. That was amazing. And they're just gonna take down at least one inhibitor. They're probably gonna take down an inhibitor and then take down the Nexus turrets. But that solar flare was amazing. And yes, they are gonna go for the Nexus Towers bordering to get the second inhibitor. And it looks like they will be able to push this, at least one that. Well, they've got 20 seconds. I think they'll win this game. And wow. Just wow. Acer was winning, and then they were losing because of the hook mob. But as I said, they shut him down. And at that point, the game was over. And they will be picking up this Nexus. And Acer wins this game. Intense match. I want this video to be up very soon, because this was amazing.
I cannot believe how that game turned around. I think NaVi were just a little bit overconfident. I think they thought that they could siege that tower with Baron buff and you know, really drive home a victory, and they weren't as far, you know, weren't as strong as maybe they thought they were. So well played by Acer. They turn it around, pick up the victory there just after 40 minutes. There's your final kill scores. As is customary, we like to look at the damage graphs. So there's our damage graphs right now. Guys, a huge DPS. I'm going to throw up a very, very quick advert break, and we're going to find out what the next game is going to be. So stick with us. Help us promote the stream, guys. We are 300 viewers behind TV number 1, and I want bragging rights. I want to say we had more. So bring your friends, bring everybody, and we'll be back with another game very, very shortly. So, do you know which game we are going to be following next?
Yes, we are going to keep following Acer against XHL.
Alright, so...
Wow. I want to say wow again. That was
Do we have a game lobby and password?
I think there is. Acer is not in the, or at least Erotic is not in the lobby yet. If it is actually existent, looking for XHCL. They are not in the lobby yet, either. So it has to be hosted still. People giving compliments in chat. I like these guys.
Oh, it would help if I stop my local recording. So VOD's